The clock on the kitchen wall ticks past 8 p.m., its soft rhythm barely audible over the hum of the fridge. You stand at the sink, rinsing a coffee mug, staring out the window at the quiet street beyond. The bungalows across the street glow faintly under the street lamps, their trimmed hedges and tidy lawns a testament to the orderly suburban life you've grown accustomed to. Dogs bark lazily from back gardens, and somewhere, a neighbor's sprinkler hisses in the distance. It's the kind of evening that feels suspended, as if the world is holding its breath. You dry your hands on a tea towel, the fabric rough against your skin, and glance at the living room. Your armchair sits in its usual spot by the window, a worn paperback resting on the side table. The routine is familiar, a quiet night, a chapter or two, perhaps a glass of wine. But tonight, the stillness inside the house feels heavier, like an unasked question lingering in the air. You need to move, to shake off the weight of the day, the endless emails at work, the nagging sense that time is slipping through your fingers. Your evening walk is calling. You grab your keys from the hook by the door and leave the house. The front door creaks as you step onto the porch, the sound swallowed by the rustle of leaves in the evening breeze. You think to yourself that 2 layers was a good idea, as you feel the slight chill that creeps into the June air. The street is empty, save for a jogger disappearing around the corner, their trainers flashing under the street lamps. You pull your jacket tight and start down the footpath, your shoes scuffing lightly on the concrete. The route is second nature, a loop around the neighborhood, past the old oak tree at the corner with its gnarled roots cracking the footpath, and then a detour into the paved woodland trail that borders the town. Locals call it the Whispering Woods, a name you've always found quaint but fitting. The trail is your sanctuary, a place where the noise of the world, your job, your responsibilities, the quiet ache of a life lived on autopilot, fades into the background. The air grows cooler as you approach the trailhead, the street lamps glow giving way to the soft shadows of the trees. The asphalt path stretches into the woods, smooth and well-maintained, winding gently through towering pines and maples. You breathe deeply, savoring the crisp scent of damp earth and pine needles. The sounds of the forest envelop you, the distant hoot of an owl, the rustle of small creatures in the undergrowth, the faint creak of branches swaying in the wind. It's a symphony of nature, soothing and familiar, and you feel your shoulders relax as you walk deeper into the woods. The path curves slightly, and you pass the gnarled stump you've always thought resembles a crouching animal. A fox, perhaps, or a badger. You smile to yourself, the same thought crossing your mind every time. The woods are alive but gentle, a quiet companion to your thoughts. You're halfway through your usual loop, approaching the small clearing where the trail dips into a grassy hollow, when something shifts. The air grows heavier, the sounds of the forest dimming as if someone has turned down the volume. The cricket's chirping fades, the rustle of leaves stills. You pause, frowning, straining to hear the usual nighttime chorus. It's too quiet, unnaturally so, and a prickle of unease runs down your spine. You shake your head, dismissing it as imagination. The woods are safe. You've walked this path for years without incident, since you moved back to this small market town after uni, chasing a job that promised stability but delivered monotony. The trail has been your refuge through heartbreak, work stress, and the slow erosion of the dreams you once held close. You've come here after your first real job rejection, walking until your legs ache, trying to outpace the sting of failure. You've come here after your last serious relationship ended, the silence of the woods kinder than the empty flat. The whispering woods have always been a place of solace, but tonight, they feel different, watchful, almost. As you take another step, you see it, a faint glow ahead, just off the path, hovering between two trees. Your heart stumbles. You squint, thinking it might be a trick of the light, a reflection of the fading sunset caught in the leaves. But no, it's unmistakable, a shimmering, translucent figure, floating a foot above the ground. It's a woman, her form ethereal, her long hair drifting as if underwater. Her face is indistinct, blurred by the pale light that surrounds her, but her presence is undeniable. She wears a flowing dress, its edges fraying into mist, and her arms hang limply at her sides. The glow she emits casts faint shadows on the ground, and the air around her shimmers like heat rising from tarmac. Terror grips you, cold and sharp. Your legs lock, rooting you to the spot. Your breath catches in your throat, and your pulse thunders in your ears. You've never believed in ghosts, not really. As a child, you laughed at ghost stories told around the fire, rolled your eyes at horror films. Even that scene in Ghostbusters, the librarian ghost in the New York Library, seemed more camp than terrifying. But this is no trick of the mind. She's real, or at least your eyes are screaming that she is. Your rational brain scrambles for explanations, a prank, a projection, a hallucination brought on by stress, but none fit. She's there, hovering, silent, and impossibly present. You want to run, to turn back and sprint toward the safety of your quiet street, the warmth of your living room, the creak of your armchair. But your body refuses to move. Your hands tremble at your sides, your jacket suddenly too tight across your shoulders. You swallow hard, forcing yourself to think. Maybe she isn't dangerous. Maybe she's lost, or trapped, or... God, you don't know. The half-remembered ghost stories from childhood, wraiths seeking justice, spirits bound by unfinished business, flash through your mind, unhelpful and terrifying. The town has its share of tales about the whispering woods, you realize now, stories you've dismissed as folklore. Whispers of a woman seen on moonless nights, of strange lights leading walkers astray. You laughed them off at the pub, chalking it up to rural superstition. Now, you're not so sure. Something in you, some stubborn spark of curiosity or courage, pushes through the fear. You clear your throat, your voice barely a whisper. Hello, you say, the word trembling in the air. Can you hear me? The apparition doesn't react. She just hovers, silent and still, her form flickering like a candle flame. You take a cautious step forward, your shoes crunching softly on the path. I'm not here to hurt you, you say, louder this time, though your voice cracks. What do you want? Nothing. No response, no movement. Just that eerie, unblinking presence. Your fear surges again, and you decide you've had enough. You turn on your heel, your shoes grinding against the asphalt as you start back toward the trailhead. Your pace is brisk, your heart pounding. You just need to get home, to lock the door behind you, to pretend this never happens. This is a mistake, you think, walking faster. Just forget it. Forget her. But then you feel it, an otherworldly chill at the back of your neck, like a cold hand brushing your skin. You glance over your shoulder, and your stomach drops. She's moving. The apparition glides silently toward you, her glow brighter now, her form more defined. Her face is still a blur, but her eyes, dark and hollow, like those of an old porcelain doll, seem to lock onto yours. She's closer than before, her movement smooth and unnatural, like a predator stalking its prey. You speed up, your walk turning into a jog. The path stretches endlessly before you, the trees blurring as your breath comes in sharp gasps. You don't dare look back again, but you can feel her presence, a weight pressing against your back. The air grows colder, the silence of the woods now suffocating. You break into a run, your shoes pounding the pavement, your heart hammering in your chest. The trailhead can't be far now, you tell yourself. Just keep going. Ghosts don't follow people into suburbia, do they? But she's faster. You hear no footsteps, no sound at all, but you know she's gaining on you. The cold intensifies, seeping into your bones, and the light behind you grows brighter, casting your shadow long and distorted on the path. You push yourself harder, your lungs burning, but it's no use. Her glow surrounds you, a radiant mist that swallows the world. You stumble, your legs giving out, and the light engulfs you completely. It's warm, unexpectedly so, like sinking into a bath. Your fear dissolves, replaced by a strange, dreamlike calm. Your body feels weightless, your thoughts sluggish. The woods are gone, the path vanished. You're floating in a sea of light, soft and golden, with no sense of up or down. The woman's face appears before you, clearer now. Her eyes are sad, her expression gentle. Her features are delicate, almost familiar, like someone you've known long ago but can't place. She doesn't speak, but you feel her presence in your mind, a quiet insistence pulling you somewhere else. And then it begins. Images flood your mind, vivid and sharp, like memories you've forgotten. You're a child again, no more than 7, running through a field with your childhood best friend. The grass tickles your bare feet, the summer sun warm on your shoulders. You hear your friends' laughter, high and infectious, see the way the sunlight catches in their tousled hair. You've been inseparable back then, spending endless afternoons exploring the beck behind their house, dreaming up adventures as explorers or spies. You haven't thought of that day in years, haven't spoken to your best friend since you were teenagers, when life pulled you in different directions. The memory is so real you can smell the wildflowers, feel the mud squelching between your toes.
Hey, there you go.
shifts, and you're 16, sitting at a desk in your secondary school classroom. Your pencil taps nervously against the wood as you wait for your history exam results. Your favorite teacher hands you the paper with a warm smile. "Well done," they say, their voice kind. A bold red A-star stares back at you, and pride swells in your chest. You've studied for weeks, sacrificing sleep and weekends. But alongside the pride comes a pang of regret. When do you stop chasing that feeling, that hunger to prove yourself, to reach for something bigger? You've wanted to study history at uni, to become an archaeologist, maybe, or a writer. But practicality wins out, and you choose a safe degree, a safe job, a safe life. The memories come faster now, a kaleidoscope of your life. You see your first love standing under the awning at a school fete, their smile making your heart race. You feel the thrill of their hand brushing yours, the ache when they leave for uni, leaving you with a half-finished letter and a broken heart. You see the late nights at your desk job in the local council office, the spreadsheets blurring together, the compromises you make to pay the rent. You see your parents' faces, older now, etched with worry and love during your last visit home. You see yourself, standing alone in your kitchen, staring out the window at the quiet street, wondering where the years have gone. Each memory carries an emotion, raw and unfiltered. Joy, grief, anger, hope, they crash over you like waves, pulling you deeper into yourself. You try to speak, to ask the apparition what this means, but your voice is gone. Instead, you feel her presence guiding you, urging you to look closer. "What do you see?" she seems to ask. "What have you forgotten?" You see the choices you've made, the ones you regret and the ones you're proud of. The time you don't apply for that job at the museum because you fear rejection. The time you stay late to help a struggling colleague, their gratitude warming you more than any payslip. You see the moments you let fear hold you back, the times you play it safe instead of taking a risk. You see the people you've loved, the ones you've lost, the ones you still have time to reach out to. A new memory surfaces, one you haven't thought of in years. You're 12, standing at the edge of the whispering woods with your best friend, the two of you daring each other to venture inside after hearing the local tales. The woods are said to be haunted, the stories passed down through generations. A woman who vanished in the 19th century, her spirit bound to the forest, guiding or tormenting those who wander too deep. You and your friend laugh, call it nonsense, but you only go a few steps in before turning back, spooked by a sudden gust of wind. Now, standing in the light of the apparition, you wonder if you sensed her even then. The memories slow, and you're back in the present, or close to it. You see yourself on the street, just hours ago, stepping out for your walk. You see the person you've become, steady, quiet, perhaps a little too comfortable in routine. The job that pays the bills but drains your spirit. The evenings spent alone, scrolling through social media, envying lives that seem bolder than yours. The dreams of writing a novel, traveling to distant places, starting over somewhere new, that you've buried under layers of practicality. The apparition's face appears again, her eyes searching yours. She doesn't speak, but her message is clear. What will you do now? The light begins to fade, and with it, the dreamlike state. You feel solid ground beneath your feet, the cool night air on your skin. You're back on the path, standing in the clearing where you first see her. The apparition is gone, the woods silent once more. Your heart is still racing, but the fear is gone, replaced by a strange clarity. You take a deep breath, the scent of pine grounding you. You turn and walk back toward the trailhead, your steps slow and deliberate. The woods are alive again, the owl hooting in the distance, the crickets resuming their chorus. You feel different, though, lighter, as if you've shed a weight you didn't know you were carrying. The memories linger, not as burdens but as reminders. You think of your childhood best friend, and the promise you've made to stay in touch. You think of your parents, how you've meant to call more often. You think of the novel you started years ago, the pages gathering dust in a drawer. You turn and walk back toward the trailhead, your steps slow and deliberate. The woods are alive again, the owl hooting in the distance, the crickets resuming their chorus. You feel different, though, lighter, as if you've shed a weight you didn't know you were carrying. The memories linger, not as burdens but as reminders. You think of your childhood best friend, and the promise you've made to stay in touch. You think of your parents, how you've meant to call more often. You think of the novel you started years ago, the pages gathering dust in a drawer. As you walk, you recall more of the town's stories about the Whispering Woods. The woman, they say, is a governess named Eliza, who disappeared in 1847 after a forbidden love affair. Some claim she was murdered, others that she fled in shame, but all agree her spirit lingers, appearing to those at a crossroads in their lives. The tales seem absurd, but now you wonder if Eliza, or whoever or whatever she is, chooses you for a reason. Does she see the stagnation in your heart, the dreams you've let slip away? You reach the edge of the woods, the street lamps casting a warm glow over the footpath. Your street lies ahead, the familiar houses standing silent under the stars. Your flat is just around the corner, its windows dark, waiting for you to return. But you don't go inside yet. Instead, you lean against the oak tree at the corner, its rough bark grounding you further. You pull out your mobile and scroll through your contacts, stopping at your best friend's name. It's been years since you've talked, really talked. You've seen their posts online, their new job in London, their travels to places you've only dreamed of visiting, their life unfolding in ways yours hasn't. Your thumb hovers over the call button, and you smile. You don't know what the apparition was, whether she was a ghost, a vision, or something else entirely. Maybe she was a part of you, a reflection of the questions you've been avoiding. Maybe she was Eliza, the governess, bound to the whispering woods, guiding those who need it most. Whatever she was, she's given you something, a chance to see your life clearly, to remember who you are and who you want to be. You press the call button and lift the phone to your ear, the night air cool against your skin. As it rings, you look up at the stars, bright and endless above the quiet street. Your friend's voicemail picks up the call, their familiar voice warm even through the recording. You wait for the beep, your heart steady now. "Hey, buddy," you say, your voice calm and sure. "It's me. Been far too long, hasn't it? I'm thinking about that summer by the beck, and I'd love to catch up. Call me back when you can." You hang up, slipping the phone into your pocket. The street is quiet, the stars brighter than you've noticed before. You walk toward your flat, the front door creaking as you step inside. The living room is just as you leave it, the armchair, the paperback, the weight of routine. But it feels different now, less like a cage and more like a starting point. You sit at your desk, pulling open the drawer where the half-finished novel lies. The pages are yellowed, the ink smudged in places, but the story is still there, waiting. You pick up a pen, your hand steady, and begin to write. The words come slowly at first, then faster, as if the whispers of the woods follow you home. You write about a woman lost in a forest, her life a tangle of choices and regrets, guided by a light that shows her the way forward. It isn't just a story, it's yours. The next morning, you wake with a sense of purpose you haven't felt in years. You call your parents, arranging a visit for the weekend. You dust off your resume, tweaking it with a boldness you've forgotten you have, and send it to that museum job you've eyed for months. At the pub that evening, you overhear more talk of the whispering woods, a local claiming they see a light in the trees last week. You don't join the conversation, but you listen, a quiet smile on your lips. The woods have changed you, or perhaps they reminded you of who you've always been. The whispers linger, not as a haunting, but as a call to action. You have time, you realize, time to chase the dreams you've buried, to reconnect with the people who matter, to live a life that feels like yours. Outside, the night stretches on, the stars watching over the quiet street. The whispering woods stand silent, their secrets buried deep, waiting for the next wanderer to hear their call. If this story helped you unwind, please consider giving it a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you'll be the first to hear the next one. Sleep well.